Kevin came up to me and asked for advice. I looked at him, I said, yo, man, you're really funny, but your problem is you're competing with these other comedians. They are not your peers. You're better than all of them, but you need to get out of their circle and develop your own voice. I swear to God, within 800 days, Kevin Hart was a bigger star than me. Within 800 days, he was taking parts from me. He's in a movie with The Rock. My last name's Rock. How the fuck he get the fucking part? From now on, when I see young comedians, they ask me for advice, I just say, shut the fuck up.
It's so much easier to figure out who you're not. And if you start eliminating the who I'm not, by sheer mathematics, you end up
moving toward
who more of what feeds you and who you are. And it's a hell of a lot easier thing to go, how can I get rid of some bullshit in my life than it is to go, well, how do I go to my true self?
And there's this saint I came across. I thought it was the coolest story ever. His name is Saint Longinus, the centurion. He was the centurion that did the spear into Jesus' side. But the story goes that his eyesight was bad, like it was degrading and stuff. When he pierced Jesus' side, the blood and water poured on his face and he was instantly healed, his eyesight, but then instantly realized that he was the Son of God. Immediately after that, he's like, I need to go spread the gospel. And so he traveled all over the Middle East and stuff, spreading the gospel. But news got back to Pontius Pilate. So they captured him, brought him in, and they're like, deny your faith. And he said, why would I deny my faith when I know who the true king is? So what they did is like, since he gave you back your eyesight, we're going to take your eyes. And so they took his eyes out, and that didn't stop him. He kept on spreading the gospel, completely blind. And then they said, well, you didn't get the hint. They cut out his tongue. But what the miracle that happened with it is that when they cut out his tongue, he was still able to speak perfectly. But they said it was almost like God was speaking through him, almost with a thunderous voice. They brought him into the temple, basically bow down before our gods, deny your faith in Jesus Christ. And he somehow grabbed a sword, swung, and cut the head off of one of the statue gods.
Let's go.
And he said, let's see what your gods do now. And as soon as he said that, an earthquake happened and every single god in this temple fell down. Shook everyone. And then the governor decided, he's like, we're done with this. And then they beheaded him.
Golly, dude. So much aura. Yeah. Plus 1,000 aura.
Whatever this is, this right here, we think it's air. But I realized that if I stop, close my nose and mouth for 4 minutes, if I'm separated from this substance for 4 minutes, my heart don't stop. My brain don't even stop. My body functions don't stop. The first thing I lose is consciousness. I pass out. I can no longer stay aware. So I started to say, well, wait a minute. I'm not just breathing in air. I'm breathing in consciousness. I'm inhaling and exhaling God itself. And this air is conscious. That linked me up with quantum.
Scientists once taught monkeys the concept of money, and then disaster ensued. In 2005, a group of monkeys were given silver coins. It took months to teach the monkeys that these coins were a valuable means of exchange, but once they had that understanding is when the real fun began. They were given 12 coins and presented with jello cups and grapes, each costing a different price. Then scientists introduced price shocks, raising the price of one and dropping the price of the other, and the monkeys went for the better deal if they were low on cash, meaning they understood budgeting. Then gambling was introduced and monkeys were doing that. Then they figured out stealing, then something really shocking began to happen. The scientists noticed that some male monkeys were using the coins to pay females for lovemaking. Those females would then use that money they earned to go buy food for themselves. Once scientists noticed that was happening, they did have to put an end to it because they wanted to ensure any future monkey business occurred as nature intended.
My biggest failures as a Christian, this one guy and I were arguing about whether or not God existed, and he goes, do you believe if someone commits suicide, they go to hell? And I said, if they do or if they don't, has nothing to do with the actual argument that we're discussing right now. So this is a red herring. So why don't you stay on topic? I got him, and I was right. I was right. It was completely superfluous to the fundamental issue of whether or not God exists. So like, I win. Somebody said later, like, do you know why he asked that? No. His wife committed suicide. Oof. So at a moment where I had an opportunity to say, Why do you ask that? And then do what 1 Peter 3:15 commands me to do, which is always to first sanctify Christ in my heart, and then always be ready to give a response for the hope that is in me, but to do so with gentleness and respect. No, instead, I wanted to win an argument.
I learned a lot about women. I think I learned exactly how the fall of man occurred in the Garden of Eden. Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden, and Adam said one day, wow, Eve, here we are at one with nature, at one with God. We'll never age, we'll never die. And all our dreams come true the instant that we have them. And Eve said, yeah, it's just not enough, is it?